As you've just seen, the versatile TORO Dingo TX compact utility loader uses a wide variety of multi-task attachments. In order to ensure many years of labor-saving service, the TORO company asks that everyone who operates the Dingo TX please view this video in its entirety and then thoroughly read the operators and safety manuals provided. Now then, for clarity purposes, I'll be demonstrating the various control systems of the Dingo TX. Later, we'll go on site to show the pre-operation checks and safe operation of this unique equipment. So let's get started. In operating the Dingo TX, there are three main controls that direct the flow of hydraulic fluid. The lever in the center is called the traction control, and it controls the forward and the reverse movement of the machine. To move forward, use the palm of your hand to push the rear bar forward toward the reference bar. The closer the rear bar is to the reference bar, the faster the machine will move, up to 4 miles per hour. Turning the bar to the right will turn the Dingo TX to the right. Turning the bar to the left will turn the unit to the left. When released, the lever returns to neutral position and the unit stops. To move the machine in reverse, grasp the front bar with your fingers and pull back toward the reference bar. Another way to move the machine in reverse is to simply pull back on the rear bar, turning it in the direction you want to go. Again, turning to the right moves the machine right. Turning to the left moves it to the left. To the right of the traction controls is the loader control. This joystick controls the raising, lowering, curling, and dump functions of your loader arms and attachment mount plate. It also has a float position, or detent, that allows the loader to ride or float over ground contours during certain functions like leveling and grading. Pushing forward on the joystick lowers the loader arms. Pulling back on the joystick raises the loader arms. Moving the stick to the left curls the attachment plate. And moving the stick to the right tilts the attachment plate forward, like when dumping a bucket load. To put the loader arm into the float position, simply push the joystick forward until the detent locks in place. The lever located to the left of the traction control is the auxiliary control. It controls the hydraulic flow sent to the auxiliary circuit on the Dingo TX, which powers all hydraulic attachments. When the lever is in the neutral position, no hydraulic fluid is sent to the auxiliaries. This lever is spring-loaded to automatically return to the neutral position when released. To engage one of the many implements the Dingo TX utilizes, simply pull the auxiliary lever rearward and down to the reference bar. Pushing upward and to the left causes reverse flow or disengagement of the implement. A third detent position keeps the lever in reverse for specialty applications, such as the cement bowl. Other features of the control panel include the throttle, located here, the choke, fuel gauge, hydraulic oil temperature light, an hour meter, the ignition key, and a parking brake lever. The parking brake should always be set when the Dingo TX is on the transport trailer or anytime you leave the machine. The last feature I want to review is called the reverse plate. It's located beneath the control panel and it functions as a safety device. Pushing on it mechanically forces the traction control into a neutral position, reducing the likelihood of the operator getting pinned against something when the machine is moving in reverse. Next, we will cover the pre-operation checks and demonstrate proper connection of attachments. Before you start the Dingo TX, always carry out the following important pre-start procedures. Remove the dipstick to make sure the oil is at the correct level. If you need to add more oil, remove the oil filler cap. Use only TORO recommended oil. Next, remove the hydraulic fluid cap to check the level on the dipstick. Remove the air filter cover and clean filter if required. Inspect for any loose fasteners or damaged areas. To start the Dingo TX, the operator should make sure the auxiliary hydraulic lever is in the neutral position. Whether or not a hydraulic attachment is in place, this lever must be in neutral prior to starting the Dingo. When the machine is cold, open the throttle slightly, fully open the choke, and then turn the ignition key to start. When operating the Dingo TX, you will have both feet on the ground and your hands on the controls. Removing your hands off the controls immediately stops the machine. Before connecting any attachment to the Dingo TX, always make sure the mount plates are free of any dirt or debris. With the right hand on the loader control joystick, tilt the mount plate forward. Position the Dingo TX mount plate into the upper lip of the attachment's receiver plate. Then raise the arms while tilting back the Dingo TX mount plate at the same time. The attachment should be raised enough to clear the ground or the trailer with the mount plate tilted all the way back. Now turn the ignition key to the off position. Next, engage the attachment lock pins. These are located on the operator side of the mount plate and should be turned toward the inside to engage. Always make sure the lock pins are fully engaged through the bottom of the mount plate. For some attachments, the next step is to connect the hydraulic hoses to the auxiliary couplers. First, move the hydraulics lever forward and back to neutral to relieve pressure at the hydraulic couplers. Now move the auxiliary hydraulics lever upward into the detent position. Remove the rubber covers from the hydraulic couplers on the traction unit. It is critical to the life of hydraulic equipment that you clean all foreign matter from hydraulic hoses and auxiliaries before making connections. Please note, hydraulic connections can get hot. Please be sure to wear gloves when performing this operation. First, push the attachment hose male coupler into the coupler on the traction unit. Keep in mind, connecting the male attachment hose coupler first helps to relieve any pressure buildup in the attachment, making for easier connecting. The second step in this operation is to push the attachment hose female coupler onto the coupler on the traction unit. Next, confirm that the connections are secure by pulling on the hoses. Finally, move the auxiliary hydraulics lever back to neutral. It's important to remember, the engine will not start if the auxiliary hydraulics lever is not in the neutral position. To remove an attachment, lower the attachment to the ground or onto the trailer. Turn the ignition key to the off position. If the attachment uses hydraulics, move the auxiliary hydraulics lever up, down, and back to neutral to relieve pressure at the couplers. Disconnect the hydraulic hoses by sliding the collar back and pulling back on the hose. The hydraulic hoses on the attachment should be connected together to reduce contamination of the hydraulics. Next, install the rubber covers onto the hydraulic couplers on the traction unit. Disengage the quick attach pins by turning them to the outside. Restart the machine tilt the mount plate forward, and back away from the attachment. Always remember, when you are operating the Dingo TX, you are responsible for your own safety as well as those around you. Before operating this machine, please watch the safety training portion of this video and read the operator's and safety training manual. Most attachments, like the backhoe, have their own operating manuals. Please familiarize yourself with the specific details of each attachment. The TORO Dingo TX compact utility loader is one of the most innovative machines to be introduced in years. Properly maintained and operated, the Dingo TX will save you many hours of human labor while reducing damage to any terrain you might be working in.
TORO's Dingo TX compact utility loader is an extremely maneuverable, very powerful, and highly versatile machine. It's also very easy to use. With proper maintenance and a strong focus on safety, the Dingo TX should give you many years of labor-saving service. While operating the Dingo TX, your safety and the safety of those around you is entirely in your hands. Please have anyone who operates this machine watch this video and read the operator's and safety manual that comes with it. Let's begin with clothing. It is recommended that operators always wear close-fitting clothes, a hard hat, protective eyewear, and proper footwear. But every situation is unique, so always consult your project supervisor for additional precautions prior to operation. When operating the Dingo TX, you walk along behind the unit, using both of your hands to engage its various functions. Always remember to keep your hands and feet away from all moving parts and pinch areas. The Dingo TX is a one-person machine. Never let anyone, adults, children, or animals, near the machine while it is in operation. If they do get too close, warn them away or immediately shut down the machine. Take time to familiarize yourself with the controls of the Dingo TX. Practice the various moves on flat ground well away from people or traffic. Practice at slower speeds until you can operate it smoothly and confidently. Never jerk the controls. Make sure not to exceed the maximum load rating of the Dingo TX. Never carry loads higher than the recommended height. This could make the unit unstable and cause it to pitch over. Always carry loads close to the ground to maintain a proper balance. Carrying a heavy load or an attachment too high can easily result in dangerous tipping. If the machine starts to tip forward, lower the loader arms to stabilize the machine. Before refueling, turn the engine off and allow it to cool down. Turn off the engine and remove the key before doing any service work on the machine or its attachments. This will prevent someone from accidentally starting the machine while you are working on it. Although servicing should be completed with the loader arms lowered, use the loader cylinder lock if any service is required with the arms raised. For efficiency of operation, the Sitework Systems Dingo TX compact utility loader is not evenly weighted from front to back. When traveling up or down hills or ramps, always keep the heavy end on the uphill side. Without a heavy load in the bucket, or without an attachment installed on the front of the Dingo TX, it is heavier in back than in front. However, when the bucket is fully loaded, or when a heavy attachment such as a trencher or tiller is installed, the front of the Dingo TX becomes heavier. For stability and safety reasons, these weight ratios are important to remember when operating the Dingo TX compact utility loader. Never operate the vehicle sideways on slanted ground of more than 10 degrees. The maximum slope does vary with each attachment. Please refer to the owner's manual for clarification. Here are a few more things to keep in mind. Like most track drive machines, the Dingo TX creates a cantilever or rocking effect when going over curbs or large bumps. Please be aware of this when operating the product. Ramps can be used to minimize this effect. Always keep a sharp lookout for holes and deep ruts while operating the Dingo TX. Make sure there are no power lines overhead. When using any digging attachment, make sure that all utilities have been properly located and marked. And always be aware of traffic. Always park the Dingo TX on level ground, and be sure to lower the loader arms or attachments all the way to the ground. Also, engage the parking brake before leaving the machine. The Dingo TX employs a wide variety of attachments, each with the possibility for accidental injury to you or others. This video doesn't cover all potentially harmful situations. Always use common sense and the utmost care when operating the TORO Dingo TX, and you will enjoy many years of great service.